Hello, 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 and welcome to another amazing episode of Misfit Toys Comedy. Let me see some snaps. Some jazz hands. Yes, yes, yes. I can feel you snapping. I can feel those jazz hands all the way from Wales, all the way from London, New York, LA. Texas is in the house today, and even South Africa, Hong Kong. We are all over the globe. What an amazing time for technology. What a horrible time to socialize. But you know what? We are doing it virtually, and I'm so excited that we have an amazing guest for the first time, Miss Kim Wadsworth. And we also have our beautiful and amazing Mistress K.
Yeah.
So, Kim Wadsworth, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And tell us, wait, I'm sorry. Before we go there, it's time to breakfast and BITCH. What is bizarre, ironic, terrifying, crazy, and hard? What do we do for breakfast? What do you have to BITCH about? Miss Kim Wadsworth.
Me? I just woke up, so I'm having a smoothie. It's a protein smoothie. It's my daily. Keeps me from eating that extra meal. I look at food and gain weight, so I do it like that. And ironically, that's what I have to bitch about too. This weight gain from the pandemic. That's my biggest bitch. Everything else is good, man. It's going so smooth. I've got some stuff working. I'm doing a weekly at a great venue that hopefully will get some Misfit toys down to Texas to come to Richardson and take part in a show there. It's just a fantastic venue with a fantastic owner. It's really, really receptive. So that's awesome. What is scary to me? Terrifying. Terrifying is people's downer attitudes are terrifying to me. I think that's the most terrifying thing ever. I mean, I'm too old for that crap, you know? Like, lighten up, people. Put a smile on your face. Even through the pandemic, it's tough. It's hard. We're all a little out there, right? We're a little, but man, smiles go for miles. Let's do it. How about it? A little bit of kindness, people.
I love it. I love it. I mean, you're zooming in from?
I am zooming in from Burleson, Texas. Stand back, everybody. I know you're Googling that right now.
I am. Like, literally, how do you know me so well? I'm literally on my keyboard being like, Burleson, Texas. Where's Burleson?
Texas? Where's Burleson, Texas? Well, you got to kind of say it like that too. Where's Burleson, Texas? And you got to throw that slang in there, that accent, that drawl. That's exactly where it is. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's scary to look like me and live in Burleson, Texas. Because when I step outside of my door, there are still Trump flags waving everywhere, and they're still waiting for the inauguration. I mean,
wow.
It's still that's where I live. I live in those places that you only hear about on TV.
So Kim, looking the way that you do, what is it like being in Texas? Because I'm sorry, you don't have the 10-gallon hat and the horns on the car. Maybe you do. I don't know, but
she's got truck nuts.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Because I don't know if this exists in London.
Mistress K in the house.
Oh my God, Mistress K! Well, you took it over, Mistress K. Can you please define what you just said? What that is for those that are watching all over the world?
Yeah.
What are those? And then it's time to breakfast and BITCH for you.
It's literally like silicone. It's like a silicone nut sack that you just hang from your truck or your car, your vehicle. And it's usually guys who have like those big Ford F-150, pickup trucks that are clearly overcompensating for something else. And they have like their tow hitch. They hang them from there. And
oh my God, you know about this? That's
honey. I've seen them on minivans in Massachusetts.
This is a thing that people hang on the back of their bumper, usually on a hitch. A hitch is a thing that you put your trailer on. So already, if you're towing a trailer, you're in a certain category. And so this is a thing with and then it's just
hang your nuts.
Yeah.
Truck nuts. Truck nuts.
You're gonna hear first, kids.
Oh my God. Oh my
Maybe
God.
that
Oh my
might be
God.
something I want to brand.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's hilarious. I got the Mistress K truck nuts hanging large.
I have not even thought of those or seen those in so long. You were taking me back to like spring break, Lake Havasu. Oh my God.
Oh man. So breakfast, let's see. I ate what I always eat, the souls of young men. Keeps me young, gets rid of the wrinkles. I don't eat breakfast. My body, it takes a while for it to kind of get going before I can eat. So I usually just skip to lunch if I eat lunch. So I want to bitch about somebody that I feel like is such a douche. Senator Chip Roy from Texas.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a bunch of them here.
Oh my God. In Congress, they were talking about everything that's happened the last couple of days with, the mass shooting in Atlanta against the Asian American women, right? And they're trying to like smooth this all over by saying it's not a hate crime, right? Total misogyny. Oh, he had a bad day and he didn't get laid and and now he's got a sex addiction. It's just like, I can't. I like cannot even hear this white noise. It's just ridiculous. Like, have we not learned anything? And then this buffoon goes up in Congress and basically says that there's a lynching, there's a saying for lynching, which if you look into the history of it, lynching started with Asian Americans, hence proving the point that this guy is significantly racist and just totally ear deaf to what's going on in the country. Like, I have really good, really amazing close friends that are of Asian descent, and watching them talk about the plight and them talking about their safety just going out now, and things that have happened since Trump was in the office, calling it the China virus, the Wuhan virus, all this nonsense, which isn't true. Just them dealing with the backlash of people looking at them differently or washing their hands or staying, even farther than 6 feet apart from them. A girlfriend of mine told me a story about somebody that just pointed and it was like, people like this are the ones that brought the COVID into our country. And my friend is American. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, what are you talking about? This is insane. So I just wanted to give a couple minutes to let people know that I see you. I acknowledge what you're going through. And as a white woman, I empathize with you and I'm here as a supportive person behind you. We need to stop the Asian hate. Black Lives Matter. Okay. LGBTQIA folks are acceptable. I am an ally. So I needed to get that off my chest.
I feel you. It's
amazing that it's 2021 and we still hate people because of their race, religion, culture, creed, whatever. We still have hate in our bodies for people. Live your own life and butt the hell out of everybody else's, period. That's the end of the conversation. It doesn't concern you. If you can't live amongst people, it doesn't concern you. Go back under your freaking little rock, period.
I just want to hate people because they're assholes. You know what I mean?
Let's hate them for a good reason, though, right? Not a stupid reason. Not a made-up reason. Hate them because they're bad at dodgeball and you want to pick them last. But don't, Come on.
My big pet peeve is the new generation when they're like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, Google. There's no excuse. Google. Like, they're like, I'm just like, I had to go to this thing called a library.
Yeah.
And get these things called paper cuts from these things called
encyclopedias.
Like, they have this thing called, they have Pornhub. They have Pornhub. Do you know what my Pornhub was when I was growing up? National Geographic. Like, my entire puberty was tribal. It all came from Papua New Guinea.
My dad had one VHS tape and it was labeled "Take My Wife." And I was just like, what kind of movie is this? And put it on, and all of a sudden it was like, bow, chicka, bow, wow. And it was like so like 70s porn where the guy was like, I've delivered your milk, miss. And she's like, oh no, how am I going to pay for it? Like,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
Oh my goodness.
the public school systems don't teach kids anything but how to pass the test at the end of the year. That's what their goal is. They're focused on passing the test because that's their funding, right? That's how they get more money from taxes and stuff. So you got to pass it's called different things in different places, but it's an exam. You know, you take it in like the fourth and eighth and 12th grade or something. And so that's what you learn in school, how to pass the test. You don't learn practical stuff. You don't learn common sense stuff. Kids graduate, can't even, they can't give you back change if they're working in some kind of retail environment. They don't know how to manage their money, budget, anything. I have a 17-year-old, and I just opened him up a checking account, and I'm making him responsible for it. I try not to butt into his business, but I'm like, don't let it get under this amount. Make sure you're checking it, get online, do that thing because, man, you don't want to look dumb, Act like you at least went to school.
Hey, Danny Vidal. Yes. How are you? How are you? How are you? Let us know where you're coming in from. Did I tell you what I had what my breakfast in BIT?
no, tell us.
My breakfast consisted of coffee and dog hair. I have a German Shedder. I don't know if you know what these dogs like. I got him because he was beautiful. I had no idea. Like, how many times have we done something because they're cute or they're handsome, and and now I wake up literally. It's just literally like there's coffee right in my or hair in my There's coffee in my hair. There's coffee in my hair. It's just hair. Like, I can't. I love him. I do. He's super, super sweet, but he thinks he's a lap dog, but he's the size of a horse, and he constantly just wants to like sit on my face. And I mean, usually I like that, but it's just too much. It's just too much. I don't know what to do. I honestly, if anyone watching has any suggestions, or I even went like one website was like, you got to give him more olive oil. The other website, I'm like, anything I can do to help with this German Shedder problem. Like and then I feel guilty because I'm sweeping up these giant balls of fur.
Why don't you just give him a shave? You just get him bald.
The German Shepherds, you can't do that. I wish I would do it if I could. I've started to make my own shepherd yarn. So I'm making my own yarn and my I'm making a blanket because I want to, because you know me, I can't throw away anything. I'm like a hoarder. So I'm rolling it and turning it into dog yarn so I can make dog blankets. That's what I've been doing. Dog blankets. Welcome to my pandemic, solution. Oh, and
I know you do not have that much time on your hands.
I'm a nervous person. I literally do it like off screen while I think. So I have something to. I always need to be like doing something physical and mental at the same time. So it's a good thing. I'm gratitude.
It's funny that you mentioned that. How many times have we brought something home because they're cute? And I just know that's how I got a couple of my girlfriends. Hair everywhere. Then they want to be a lap dog. Then they're all over your face. I mean, same story. I got the same story.
Oh, Misfit Toys Comedy is all about empowerment in comedy, diversity and representation, and giving comedians a platform and empowering them to get their voices out, to be heard, and how important. Representation, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but this comedic journey is a journey. And I would love, Kim, for you to tell us a little bit about your comedic journey. How did it start? When did you realize, oh, this is something I want to dedicate my life to? This is something that I'm in it to win it.
Well, my journey started in 1966. No, I always knew I was funny. I was just that kid that I was always funny in school, and people always told me I was funny. So it really started early. Right before I joined the military in 1987, I made some calls to comedy clubs in Dallas, Texas, whenever you actually had to use the yellow pages. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's a big book of numbers. Anyway.
Oh, I thought Yellow Pages is when you like drop the toilet paper in the toilet.
No, that's modern day. That's after Orange is the New Black came out.
Wait, who's still using toilet paper?
You got toilet paper? Rich girl. Yeah. So I made some phone calls and stuff, and I was like, hey, how do I get in this comedy game? And it could have been the time frame. I'm a woman. Ugh. And their response was just like, oh, you gotta be really good at that. You gotta spend years doing that. And they never gave me any offering of classes, courses, how to do it. Just that you had to do this thing that I didn't know how to do. And I was asking. And so I just joined the military and said to hell with it. And fast forward 30 years later, my comedy journey started when I was 50 years old.
Wow.
So, but I have a whole lot of life to tell. I've got a lot of life experiences, stuff that people won't. I can tell stories that people won't believe, but if I tell it in a comedic way, then it's just a funny story, and nobody still believes it. But it's just funny. So, and I started. Let's see, I turned 55 this year, so.
Woo.
Yeah. So I started taking classes. I jumped on stage in 2017 for the first time.
Wow, that's amazing. So I just love that if anyone's, for those that are watching, they're thinking, oh, I've always wanted to try this. Oh, I've always, it's never too late. Rodney Dangerfield, who was one of the greatest of the greats, took a pause, found himself, sold siding, aluminum siding and different types of siding. And then in his mid 40s was when he came back on the scene and really hit it in his 50s. So you're right on track to be a superstar.
I mean, and who doesn't want to get on stage with some arthritis and some funky things going on? And your guts all, I mean, it just gives you more material for comedy.
So true.
I mean, I can't even flip anybody off because this is all I got. It goes sideways. That's
Oh, Mistress K, how did you get into your comedy journey? What was the impetus, for you to start getting on stage and grabbing the mic?
I feel like we've all had that instance where people in our lives are like, you're so funny, right? And it's just like, it ruins you. You're like, oh my God, I'm so great at this, right? So you're just like, of course I have to do this for a living, right? Like, forget my dreams. Yeah, Phyllis Diller was the bomb. She still makes me laugh. I love her. I started selling sex toys in people's living rooms, and people were like, put the dildo down and pick up a microphone. And that took me almost like 9 years before I was just like, was working as a nurse, and all my patients were laughing, and they, everybody at work was like, oh my God, the patients love you. You make them laugh. And I was like, listen, I'm working with people with traumatic brain injuries. They're not really my target audience. It's not really a hard sell to make somebody who's missing half of their brain laugh. You know what I mean? Not really a challenge. But I was just so sick of nursing, and I had a patient who died, and we were really good friends, and he was just like, you got to live your life for you. And I was like, you know what? I got to take what he said for granted. And I moved to California, and my first show was at the Ice House, and I got up there, did 7 minutes. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I got off stage, and I had all these people come over and say you were so funny, and then I had the comics who were like, how long you been doing comedy? And I'm like, oh, this is my first time ever. I didn't even know what a light was. I was just like, okay, I think I'm done. And I got off. And they were like, no way have you not been doing this. And I was just like, this is my first time. And I kept hearing that every time they're like, oh, I'm like, oh, this is only my second time. This is only my third time. And, that's how that happened. And, now I'm 3-4 years in, and this is what I'm meant to do.
I love it. I love it. I heard this. So Margaret Cho did a shout out to the Misfit Toys, and what I loved what she said was that the way that she described comedy and her her $5 of advice. I don't even say 2 cents. Her advice was so interesting. Was that comedy to her is a practice, is a meditation, is something that you do regularly, almost like yoga. And I never thought of it that way. And it was the first time that I was like, huh. And it really is. The writing, the performance is very, I'm like, now when you do yoga, do you think, when am I going to get my yoga Netflix special? When is that yoga Netflix special going to have? Like, is it about that yoga Netflix special, or is it about being in the moment and how comedy helps you be present, how it helps you connect, how it helps you, do you agree, disagree, Kim, Mistress K? What do you think?
I agree to a certain extent, but I'm also the type of person that if you can get paid for what you love to do, then that's the way to go. Because I was stuck in a horrible job where my whole life was consumed by patients and other people, and being in a hospital 24/7. I mean, I worked 60 hours a week. So, I wasn't living my life for me. So I would like to get paid for what I like to do. And that's
she wants to be the yoga instructor, the one at the front of the room, and then getting paid for your creativity, getting paid for your passion is a luxury that most people don't have. And that is an amazing, in America is one of the best places to do that, where you can actually get paid doing something that feeds your soul. And it feeds my kids too. Like, that's a double, like, that's amazing. Kim.
That's amazing. Yeah. So I grew up watching my dad struggle his whole life. My dad's a musician, and a starving musician. And my mom was a nurse. My mom supported our family my mom worked a lot. She was a MICU nurse, and took care of very sick people, so that my dad could go and play and try to hit his stride. And my dad is a super talented musician. Not being biased, I'm a music nerd. He's arguably one of the best musicians I've ever had the experience of being around. The man plays every instrument by ears, never had a lesson in his life, writes songs, just a beautiful composer, but also super self-destructive because he couldn't make a living doing it. He would go to a gig just to get paid enough to get to the next gig. And it just never went anywhere for him. And I got stuck in that rut of, I didn't want that struggle because I watched it my whole life. I like money too much. I like things. I like, and so I got stuck in corporate America doing that 9 to 5 for, 25, 35 years. And I'm sick to the gills of it. I'm like, screw this. I'm not getting any younger. I'm dying every day that I'm doing something that I don't love. And, I finally got $2,000 in the bank, and I'm ready to go to California. No, that's an exaggeration.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's time now. I'm just kind of like, screw it. I've got myself in a position. I work from home. I have my own company. I'm hiring people now so that I can be gone more. I've got flexibility in my schedule, and it's my time. And I'm not going to be held captive to the man anymore. My wallet, my because I love that, but it doesn't make me feel whole and complete, right? I mean, you all experience that.
I feel like people have this hard concept of, they're like, this is what I love, but it doesn't support me, right? And that is kind of the thing where people are cogs in the wheel, right? So you can afford that nice new car, so you can live in a nice place, so you can have your comfort, your creature comforts, and you're literally living for stuff, to pay for stuff. And that's one of the things that I always told people, people like, oh, you really don't care about money. And I was like, I can always make more money. I was like, I can't make more time or more experiences. Like, we're only here for a certain amount of time. So if you're spending 40 hours, 60 hours, however many hours a week, because Americans, all we do is work to death, you spend it in a cubicle, you spend it in a place where you hate the people you're around, you don't necessarily love what you're doing, you are part of the problem. Like, you're a cog in the wheel, you know? And that's the thing. It's like more people, I think, again, and it comes to people in different ways at different points in their life where they realize, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. And they just either make the shift, make the change, or they don't. And the people that don't, you can see, you can tell they're miserable. You ever around people that hate their job, hate the people they're around, they hate life, the Debbie Downers. Those are the people that are stuck in the same shit that they don't want to do. And I think society, America, we're really terrible in the fact that we program young people at a very young age to say, if you don't go to college, you're not going to get that job. You're not going to be anything. You're not going to make anything out of yourself. And look at the people that went to college. Now, mind you, I have 3 college degrees. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. And I am the biggest one that's in the biggest amount of debt. You know, I was hindered before it could even start. And that's what most Americans who have gone through the college system is, you're already in debt. You're already behind. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if I had realized that I wanted to be a comedian, I'd still probably be broke. But I wouldn't have the amount of debt that I have. So it's just, again, like, it's all about social programming. You know, these people in these big companies, they want you to think that you need this job for benefits, for this, for that. Why? So you keep coming to work every day. You know, like, Amazon did not become this global conglomerate because your packages just happened to arrive whenever they got there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have people on task. You have people in that mode where they're just like, okay, this is what I got to do so I can have X, Y, and Z. And it's like, why do we only have 2 days out of the week? Like, look at European countries. They go home for lunch. Spain goes home for lunch. They have like a 2-hour siesta, 3-hour siesta, and then they go back to work. And their work day is what, like 6 hours? It's not even a full 8. So it's like, there's so many injustices in this country that we have globally, like systemically, that we just haven't, as a society, come together and go, hey, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Like, no, yeah.
Erica,
do this shit anymore.
Shout out to Erica Switzer in Chi-Town. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, we need to get Erica up on the show. I believe you are a comedian. Actually, I know you are. Yes. I would love to hear your comedy journey too. You know, weigh in on, you know, what is comedy to you? Is it a practice? Is it a, you know, what do you think? You know, how do you see comedy? And it's evolved and changed. You know, for me at first, it was like, oh, I want to be on stage and I want the stardom and the this, and I was going for all, and it started to happen. And now for me, I see it much more on the flip side. 20 years later, it is much more of a practice, that I only do shows that feed my soul. I only speak my truth. You know, I don't write for the audience. I come from a place for me. Am I okay? And I do this crazy thing. I think I've told some of, I do the shows and I record them for myself, and I do the shows for myself, and I force myself to watch them before. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh my. Oh, okay. Okay. That's NPC. NPC. If you don't, not for public consumption. I'm like, that's a private moment. We do not need that released into. Oh gosh. But having to force yourself to listen to yourself, to what is so, I think, very therapeutic and also very good as a comedian, because we don't have directors, we don't have producers. You know, it's just us. There isn't that. You know, when you're in a theater and you're an actor, you have a director, you have someone watch it thing and help. You know, when you're a comedian, it's just you. And
there's really no right way or wrong way, right? Like, sometimes it depends on the audience. Sometimes that joke will kill 9 times out of 10, and that 10th time you're like, ooh, yeah, that just didn't go very well.
That's where the toes are. That's where the toes are. Yeah.
Do you either of you have like some of your like what were some of the lowest points in comedy or the funniest like painful moment where you're just like, oh my lord, why did I decide to do this? What on earth was I thinking? Lord, like was it you with the flat tire, the Mistress K, or like anytime you because your car broke down.
That was probably the worst night. That was the worst night. I got told one thing. I was there early. I was out in the cold and the rain. And you know me, I'm always looking fabulous head to toe. And I'm out in this freaking garden in the rain with like $80 shoes on. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Right. And then like, oh, you'll be up next. You'll be up next. You'll be up next. And like 10 people in front of me. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I got to get out of here. I was like, and then I was just so upset because it's like, not making any money. I'm not doing any comedy. I'm like, I'm cold. I'm wet. I ruined my shoes. And then I get in my car. I'm like on the verge of tears. And I get in my car and I can't even get out of there because my car won't run. I was like, oh my God. Like, oh, I was like, why? It's terrible. That was bad.
Kim.
It comes with highs and lows. It's not a cocky thing. I haven't got to that point of totally bombing. I've watched people do that, and it looks painful, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. But, I mean, jokes don't hit. That's fine. The thing that I got really discouraged, like, I think 2 weeks ago, I did a comedy contest in a large comedy club conglomerate in the middle of almost nowhere, but a little bit less nowhere than I am. Out of state. It's a 5-hour drive for me. I stayed overnight in a hotel and did this comedy contest. It was like hyped up, and it was an Apollo style comedy contest and I've never done anything like that. So I'm like, if you're going to do something way outside your wheelhouse and see if you can stick the landing. And I was super nervous going in. And I get there, and the promoter goes, well, there's only 2 of you here out of 10. I'm like, what do you mean? So he got boycotted right away. 8 people didn't show up. So now it's just me against another lady. It was all ladies. 2 of us. And I do the contest. We do the thing. We end up getting like 15 minutes each. The audience votes. I win. And there's not been one single mention of it from the club. Not one. Not on Facebook, not on social media, barely a handshake, anything. After it was all over with, I go to meet, the guy takes me and the other girl to meet the club manager. And he's just a freaking jerk. I mean, a jerk from way back. And he's just kind of like, well, I'll just have you know that I run a mainstream comedy club here, and I don't know where either one of you fit in. Talking about the dyke and the Hispanic that was there. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm going to walk off, and then the other lady's like, wait a minute. She won, so she should be getting $100. I mean, she's like really vocal. She should be getting $100 prize, and she gets a week, doesn't she? She gets a week. Isn't that part of the deal? And he goes, well, that's at my discretion.
Wait.
And then yeah, that's at my discretion.
You win the competition, and he's like, well, because you're a lesbian looking the way that you look, and this is not mainstream, I'm just gonna stiff you.
Yeah, and is at my discretion. And then he turns to us and goes, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we got local people here that are way funnier than either one of you. And I just
why weren't they in the competition then?
I just watched 10 of the not real good. I'm not gonna say the worst because there's you've been to open mics, open mic style comedians go up to warm the crowd before me, and I was like, please don't warm them up anymore. You're going to start walking them out the door. I mean, that's all guys, one girl. And it was just terrible. It was so terrible. I was like, oh my, I can't even believe, can I just go? You know, I mean, I don't give
what
a
were you
shit if you
feeling?
like me or
What-
not,
What were you
but
feeling in that moment, Kim? What were you feeling in that moment?
well, actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a wackadoodle. I was thinking, man, if I could get my shoe off right now, I'd poke him in the eyeballs with my boot. But I held back. You know, I was just thinking, it's not worth the fight. It's not worth this fight anymore. Because, look, I'm tried and true. I've been to places. I mean, I've been to Boston, Massachusetts, where they loved me. All right. I've done shows in Vegas. I've done shows in places. I did, some stuff in New York. I don't have to have the approval of, can I say Little Rock, Arkansas? I don't have to have that approval in Little Rock, Arkansas. I mean, it's not that's not like comedy gold mine out there. Yeah,
But
sure.
Here's the thing, though. Dollywood is in Arkansas, so they have lots of gays out there. So it's not like.
I thought it was in Tennessee. Is it in Arkansas?
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to Dollywood.
Tennessee.
Well, I thought it was in Arkansas. Yeah, I thought it was in Arkansas.
It's kind of all the same right in there, right? I mean,
listen. I love running into people like that. I'm just like, they still make you like you're an antique. Like, what is happening?
15-year-old Corolla on the street. You're like, still was dry. Like it's like a 20-year-old Toyota Corolla out on there. You're like, your bumper's still. Whoa.
Yeah, like there are some places that are still worried about calling it a gay bar. Like, I'm just like, why? Like, I can't relate because I just don't understand it.
Here's a quote from Mr. Misogyny. So, it's an Apollo-style comedy show.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, use your imagination. The room is mostly black, okay? The general manager is a white guy. And he's an older, I don't know, I can't say older. He looks older than me, but I look pretty young for my age. But he's 40-ish, okay, let's just say. And old enough to know better for sure. And he comes in there bragging about, he goes, I just spent last weekend with Rodney Carrington. I'm like, well, good for you. You know, you should be spending time with people that come through your comedy freaking place. It's, it's known. And he goes, yeah, I just went to his comedy show, and I took my new black girlfriend with me. Is that a thing? I mean, do we really have to go, hey, and now come in here, a general manager with his new black girlfriend? I mean, what the fuck is that? I mean, are you trying to impress?
As opposed to last week's Asian girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I mean, what is this? Is this like the secret sauce? I don't know. What do you... It's just so, it just rubbed me the wrong way up top. And then fast forward after the contest, and oh no, y'all stop. I'm like,
I know there's ignorant people everywhere.
With my new black girlfriend, why would I give you any credence at this point?
It's time for some positivity. It's time for someone doing a positivity time out. Skittles is just telling me, she's like, okay, we need some more rainbows, we need some more light, we need some more, and I preach, and then our motto at Misfit Toys, my motto is to see the light in humanity. Every color of the rainbow needs to shine bright. We cannot see who we are as a people without every single color shining as brightly as they can. And that's what we do, is we amp up each single color in the spectrum so that those voices, those stories can be told. My favorite part of the show is the monologues, where strong, empowered women, have influenced us. What were some of your, little nuggets of knowledge, little nuggets of truth that your mother, your auntie, your grandmother, whatever strong woman in your life imparted to you? And what I would love to know is, what would you love to share with teenage Kim and teenage Mistress K? Kim, begin with us, or start the monologues for us.
My mom was
Thank you.
My mom is a very strong, independent woman. she supported us and everything else. And I get my work ethic from her. Absolutely. It wasn't something that she sat me down and said, this is what you got to do this thing. But it's just, I saw her work hard to provide for us and do that thing. And with very little complaining, she just did it because it is just a thing that she did, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why. I would have left us in a cardboard box somewhere because we were bratty kids. But she didn't. She was, but she worked all the time and she worked night shift. And I got away with a lot of crap because she wasn't there. I could have been a lot worse. And I think that's my drive. That's why I've never been able to get away from my responsibilities. Like, if it were just me and I didn't have, because I have a kid, if it were just me, I would have gone and joined the circus a long time ago. But I've got a son. Now I've got to be responsible and take care of him and make sure he's got his Nikes and, because he's kind of, like that. Spoiled, is what I'm saying. And we, I didn't get spoiled until mom really started hitting her stride with more money. I didn't get spoiled till the 8th or 9th grade. Before that, we were dirt poor. So I understand having to have your Nikes. So I make sure my kid, from the time he could, burp, he had his. So,
just throw out, like, what I needed when I was his age, I needed those Reebok pumps. Got to pump up and those British Knights, those BKs, and my real Reebok pump. Got to pump it up.
He's got to have. He wants the Adidas, which that's great. They look cute and everything. Whatever. I mean, he wears a size freaking 16 shoe. Okay.
What?
Wait, how old is he?
17. I mean,
okay, no, that's way too. No, definitely not.
Yeah. So,
definitely not.
He's a big dude, and it's a struggle. He could never have the light-up shoes when he was a kid because his feet were too big. Everything he was always too big for. So now I'm like, I got to go online and go, where can I get these Adidas? I go to the Adidas website. No, they don't even make them past a size 14. Oh my, special. I mean, I find them, but it's not cheap keeping him in shoes. And what I would just like to say to him, and what I do say to him is, live your best life. Don't wait till you're 50 freaking years old to start your journey. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I don't care how much money you make. It's not about that. It's about the smile on your face. And I try to tell him that all the time. But he's got big dreams. He wants to be in the NFL. And I'm like, go, baby, fly. Because I don't want him to ever have those struggles that I have.
I love it. Just live your best life now.
Yep.
Not tomorrow, not next year, not for the week. But do what you love to do, but do it. Whatever it is, do it in the universe. But this is the other trick. Thank you, Oprah. Do it, but don't do it for yourself. Do it for others. As soon as I stopped doing comedy for me, and I started doing comedy for my career skyrocketed. It's been insane, the progress that I've experienced in comedy and where I've come with my career and Misfit Toys. As soon as I switched from doing me to doing it's banana fanas how the universe is aligning to help all of us. And I never, but I was like, but I got to worry about me. No. Do we, and the universe will take care of me. And that mental click, I wish didn't happen. Now, well, I'm glad it happened because I'm in my 40s. It's happening now. Universe couldn't have figured this out like 20 years ago. Jesus. Mistress K, monologues, take it away.
Well, by the way, I just have to say this because this never happens anymore. But I'm the youngest one in the room.
I wish I had a middle finger lollipop.
I'm sorry. I had to take the cheap shot while I had it. I was very fortunate. My grandmother is my saving grace.
Thank you, Buck.
She is 90. She just turned 96. Okay. This woman has lived through world wars. She's been through a pandemic, the Depression. So she's been through like really two pandemics. I mean, she's gone through all that. And I just remember her. My grandmother is the type of person that she always took care of our family. Like, we're very hardcore, like, rooted Italian in the sense where it's like, like, family is forever. You know what I mean? Like,
Unfortunately.
exactly. Like, family is the number one thing. It's key. But my grandmother, she got married like right after the war to my grandfather, and he was a good guy, but he was suffering from a lot of post-traumatic stress coming back from World War II, and became a heavily alcoholic drinker and all that good stuff. And so my grandmother always insisted, you know, don't get married. Don't get married. She's like, marriage is forever. She's like, just date, just do you. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, you really don't need a man or a husband. You can do all that yourself. So in a way, my grandmother really was like the alpha female of my family. And I was just taking notes and I didn't really know, but like, my grandmother spent the time like teaching me how to cook, teaching me how to do laundry, like all these little things that as women, right, we're kind of taught at a young age, but she was not teaching me because you're going to have to do this for your husband and your family someday. It was like, you need to learn this so you can take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And I thank her every day for that, because she is my saving grace. She is also the funniest, sassiest old lady.
Yes, the sassy old ladies and grandmas. Yes, yes, yes. We need more of you. If you are out there and you want to get on stage and grab a mic and you are sassy and you are more silver than you are, yes, yes, we need more of you. Silver is a color that needs to shine bright. We need more of you. So reach out to Misfit Toys. We will get your voice heard. Yes, yes, yes.
I almost feel like that was a Centrum Silver vitamin ad.
Oh my
there.
God. we totally need to be sponsored and do like a Centrum Silver comedy tour.
I'm rocking my hair today, so
Oh, yes.
She is, Danny. She really is.
Oh. So, Mistress K, what would you tell teenage Mistress K? If you could go back and just whisper something in her ear, what would you whisper in Mistress K's teenage ear?
When you meet a man named Steve, just say no and keep it moving. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. No, and truth be told, I really would say that. But I would also say, don't go to college. It's going to be a waste of time. just focus on what you're good at, which is being the fabulous snowflake that you are and making people laugh and being an entertainer. Because I knew at 4 that's what I wanted to do. But again, society was just like, no, you gotta go to school, you gotta go get a job, and da da da. And I never realized that entertainment was a thing. Again, growing up in a small town, outside of Worcester, Massachusetts, which is, anybody who's been there in the knows that it's nothing but, we've got more cows than people where I grew up. So it wasn't like you can be an entertainer there. I was coming down in Madonna and like the cones and the pads and singing like a virgin, and I'm 4 and I don't even know what that is, living my best life. And then, I went to school. So it was just like, I would tell her, take some time off, figure out who you are, do what you want, and don't let society or don't let other people influence your decisions. Stay true to who you are. Listen to your internal gut, because she has never steered me wrong. It's when I listen to other people.
What about the time you went to Del Taco?
Oh, it wasn't Del Taco. I'm okay with Del Taco. It's Crapplebee's is where I'm like, I should be fine. And then I'm like, oh my God, get out of the way.
Oh my God. The theme that I love that is echoing what I'm hearing, and I'm giving it back, let me know if I'm hearing it and processing right, is that stop acting out of fear. Stop acting out of fear. I'm scared that someone's going to say that. I'm scared I'm scared to be alone. I'm scared he's going to, I'm scared that the thing, I'm worried that the thing, I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm feared, I'm scared. So every time you make a decision because you're scared that this is going to think, or I'm scared of it, does anything good happen?
No.
No. But if you act out of love for yourself, if you act out of love for others, if you act out of genuine love, you can see what happens. And
God, why are we always going to church with you? Like, yes.
I've been on Tony Robbins. Seriously, this is out of control. Like, it's out of control.
Oh no, now he's bringing the
flashcards right here.
guys.
I'm mastering influence. Like, let's pull up a little Tony Okay, Tony Robbins. It's insane. It's bled in. Like, I can't help it. I'm on my Tony Robbins. Here's my little Tony Robbins. I love you. Okay, here we go.
Tony's, please sponsor us.
You'll never be happy by what you get. You'll be happy by the person you become.
Yeah.
Make your life a masterpiece.
Yes. True. Very true.
I'm sorry. If I'm going to be hooked on something, if I'm going to have a monkey on my back, at least the monkey's going to be like a 7 foot tall, like rich white billionaire. Just saying. We're at the time of the show where we do a quick green room. Green room, for those of you who don't know, is the room where we all hang out backstage. Green Room Chronicles. What has happened backstage that you would love people to know, that you would love to just get off your chest, that you're like, well, girl, spill the tea on the green room. Let's hear it. Mistress K, take it away.
So a very famous comedian. I was in the bathroom with her at the Comedy Store, and
black bathroom at the Comedy Store. That black bathroom at the Comedy Store.
You're like this trying to get in.
All black floor, black doors, black toilet, black bed, but it's just black.
Everything's black.
You know why it's black?
Because they don't clean it.
No, it's black because back in the day, that's how you can see the cocaine.
Oh, that makes sense.
They have that mirrored piano behind the main. Everything about the Comedy Store, when you're backstage, it's all about how can I do more cocaine? Like, it's just built as it's insane. I was like sitting there, I'm just like, oh my Lord, we're like, because it was in the 80s, 70s thing, and it's banana fanas. It's banana fanas. So you're at the Comedy Store.
So I'm in the bathroom, and a very famous comedian, she comes in and she's like, oh my God, I love your hair. She's like, wait, I've seen you around here. And I used to be there every Sunday. So I was like, oh my God, I'm getting a reputation. Yes. Right. And then she proceeded to go in the bathroom and take a huge shit. I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, I gotta get out of here. Cause I was going to wait. I was like going to pretend like washing my hands, like just so I could talk to her. But I was just like, I gotta go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Kim, Green Room Chronicles. Yeah,
I don't hang around to pay that much attention to these guys because they're just noise. But the thing that happened last night at my show, I booked these guys, and they're super funny, kind of local guys. I got a road dog, and he's just a super funny guy, and we have no audience. So he's up on stage. He goes, hey, can I use my phone? And I'm like, dude, there's 5 of us in here. We're all on the show. I mean, do whatever you got to do. So he's telling jokes off his phone, which
amateur hour.
You don't do that if you got an audience. So he's
unless you're Tig Notaro and you're on late night with your phone and you actually got something to say, like that's just amateur hour.
But he's like, and his comment was, well, this is the most expensive open night ever. And I'm like, yeah, because I had to pay him a minimum to get him to come there. So I'm like, yeah. And then after the show, he's going, man, this is such a great venue. what are we going to do to get people in this place? This is a really good place to have comedy. This is a perfect place. And I'm like, how about for starters, you bring somebody in the fucking door, dude? Like, I paid you money to be the headliner. You've used your phone and brought 0 people in the door.
So what I need you to clarify real quick, what headliner means for anybody watching and that you understand is I put your name up on the marquee. I put your name as the headliner, which means you're responsible to pack the house.
Yeah.
You're a headliner because you put butts in seats. You're not a headliner because you can get through 30 minutes or an hour on stage at the end of the night. No, you're a headliner because you put butts in seats and people show up for you. That's a headliner. If you're not, what you're called is a closer, which is basically a glorified bookend.
Yeah. So I was super disappointed because I'm like, I thought for sure. I mean, I've worked with this guy before. We've had packed houses. Hey, can you do a solid and get some people here? Like maybe your fan base? Not one person shows up.
I hate that when people don't promote the show they're in.
Yeah.
Like,
Holly Van Stratton at least brought a person in. We had 0 people, but Holly brought 1 person in. So I'm like, yay, Holly. But,
yeah.
But she's not headlining the show. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She brought more in than the headliner.
So speaking of butts and seats, bringing people to shows, Mistress K, what is going on with you? We got solo.to/Mistress K. What is this link? If we go to this link, what are we going to get? What's happening? Give us the 411.
You're going to get everything. It's got all my social media links on there. All of the shows that I'm in, if there are tickets required, you can get a ticket there. I am in a comedy competition on Monday. It's the Comedy Invitational Tournament from Comedy Therapy in New Jersey. I am going up against our Russian sister, Irina Voronina. So I'm really excited for that. So you definitely want to get your link on Eventbrite for that on Monday night.
What's the comedy show?
The comedy show?
FIF, F-I-F comedy show.
Oh, it's The Future is Female. So it's my little group. Kim is actually
little, but in Mistress K world, little starts at 8 inches.
10, honey. Let's be realistic.
Okay, 10. Sorry. I'm trying to make other people not feel embarrassed.
I know. I love how people I'm not a size queen. I totally am. So it's our little group of women empowering each other. Kim is actually an alumni. She's been on the show. So it's just my Future is Female comedy production where I put on shows that are all women based. It's female talent. We support each other. We support each other's shows, any kind of projects that people are working on. It's just another network for us ladies.
I love it, love it. I wish that I could be a part, but you know what? I am an ally. I do the most that I can. So, Miss Kim Wadsworth. So what do you have coming up? Go to KimWadsworthComedy.com. What do you got going on in the next couple weeks? What's going on? Give us the 411.
So I have on this Sunday, I have the Queer and Far comedy show with Dwayne Duke, who is heading the Midwest Queer Comedy Festival to be in Chicago, Illinois this year in October. But he's doing these kind of sidebar type things, Queer and Far. The link is on my Facebook page. I just put that in there. April the 14th.
Like October, I'm like, I don't know if we're going to be alive in October.
April the 14th, I'll be doing Uncle Clyde's comedy contest at Flappers Comedy Online. That's an online contest, and I need people out there to support me because
Let's do it. Let's bring in the troops.
With IMDb credits, and they're if you go onto the page, just go onto the page because it's just funny. You'll see person, and I played on this TV show and that movie and this and that and this comedy house, and then you get down to Kim Wadsworth, and it literally says Women in Comedy Festival.
That's
and I love it in his comedy gold, just that. funny.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, I forgot to mention too. I'm in a show this Sunday through Flappers with Denise Winkleman, who is also a Misfit toy.
Mimosas.
Mimosas and brunch, y'all. So I'm super excited about that. That is also the link for tickets is in there. It's $10. Come out, support us. It's another awesome female show.
I love it. I love it. I have some big announcements. So go to Facebook Misfit Toys Comedy. We are doing an amazing career clinic. It is for women, LGBTQ comedians, and allies who believe in diversity through representation. That believe that every color needs to shine bright. If you want to learn how to get your voice out there and how to shine bright, come on Sunday, click on the link that you see there, DM us or email us at misfittoyscomedy@gmail.com or DM us on Facebook. Let us help you shine bright. And the second big announcement is moving forward, we have a new amazing co-host that will be coming on to Misfit Toys Comedy live stream, Mistress K. So let's get some snaps, some jazz hands. She's going to be locked in with us every week, every Friday, 2 to 3 Pacific at 3 hours. That's 5 p.m. New York and 10 p.m. London. And 10 p.m. London. Did I do it right? Is it right?
darling.
Is it 10 p.m. London? Yes, yes. I'm Iggy Love Sky. Mistress K, Kim Wadsworth. We love all of you. Snaps, jazz hands. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. Ciao.